to incorporate unincorporated Loxahatchee. The bill is clearly to give you the right to vote on whether you want to incorporate Loxahatchee. I was at a Republican dinner a couple of months ago, and I should have brought the hat tonight. The hat says, "Don't New York my Florida." That is part of what's going on in Palm Beach County. We have people, and we can call them, yes, we can call them Yankees. My father was a Yankee from Ohio. They're Yankees. And they're coming here, and they want their lifestyle, and they want to change your lifestyle. And we're not going to put up with it. The unincorporated areas of Loxahatchee have it's a bitch of a problem. Is the reason you might want to incorporate unincorporated Loxahatchee is because you moved out here not to live in the municipality. You moved out here not to be in a town, to be in a rural area, to be able to park a couple of boats on your backyard, or your commercial vehicle, or your half-track, or have horses, or pigs. I see people with pigs in their front yard. We're not talking pigs in the backyard, we're talking pigs in the front yard. So the bottom line is, that's why we've all moved out here, is for this rural lifestyle. And I'm making the argument today, thank you. I'm making the argument today that maybe, just maybe, things are lining up for people to wake up and realize that in order for you to have the type of code enforcement regulations you want, you are never going to be satisfied with Palm Beach County. Part of the reason is there are 7 commissioners and we have 1. Well, guess what? That doesn't help. But if you are a municipality, then you have the whole city commission to lean on and say to them, we want to maintain our rural lifestyle. We want to use our property for the reason we bought it. It's called America, and it's called private property rights. I'm really glad that people are showing up tonight. We had over 100 a couple weeks ago. Our plan is to have a rally downtown West Palm Beach in December. So we're going to be talking about that. I just want you to understand something. The reason I'm standing here is actually a long story. My family started farming in Belglade in 1948. That's over 75 years. In 1988, the environmentalists started the fight to kick us out of the Everglades agricultural area because we were ruining the Everglades. Now, of course, that wasn't true. So I'm just cutting to the chase here. I think it's totally appropriate that a Belglade vegetable and sugarcane, rice and sod farmer that has lived every moment of the Everglades fight to protect our right to continue to farm south of the Everglades and protect the Everglades at the same time. You notice what that is. That's maintaining business, maintaining jobs, maintaining food production, and protecting the environment. Guess what, folks? We live in America. We can do this. So we can do this, what we need to do today. We can have the lifestyle that we want, and we can have people move into the area and enjoy what we enjoy, but we're going to maintain our rural lifestyle, and we're going to maintain our right to do business the way we want to do business. It's not the government's job to be telling us, we don't like what you're doing on your property, and we're going to make you get off. If you don't believe that's what's going on, you need to give me a call. Got lots of stories. So with that, I'm going to bring Natalia up. Maybe she's already up. Where is she? I hope one thing that comes out of this meeting is that everybody here gets 5 people to come to the next meeting. We need a big crowd because this has been going on in Palm Beach County in other areas for 10 years. And it's going to keep happening if we don't stand up for our private property rights. And we have the ability to do that today because we have 2 new county commissioners and we have an opportunity, I believe, to demand that the county commissioners revisit these regulations. But it's only going to work if we have the people there. You do need to take pride in the fact that if 200 to 300 people show up at a rally and then maybe 200 or 300 show up at a county commission meeting, you'll be surprised that they will listen to you. Government officials like me that get elected, you know what their number 1 goal is? Get reelected. Thank you very much. But guess what? I'm old enough that I don't need to be reelected. I'd rather do what I want to do, and let's just let the chips fall where they may. So with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Natalia. I want to give her a hand for setting this up today.
Thank you so much for coming out here. It means the world to me. I've had to go through a lot with code enforcement, and I know some of you have the same issues. We're gonna do a little bit of my story and what's going on. I'll do it in English and Spanish. Renee Hamilton is gonna be helping me. She's a person that has been with me since day 1. We're gonna start. I'll have her start first in English, and then I'll continue in Spanish for those that do not know how to speak English. Thank you.
Before we get started, I just wanted to say real quick, there's 4 seats over here and there's 3 chairs over here. If anybody in the back wants to try to come forward, even if some of you in the back could come up and stand closer to the front corners, that would let more people come in, so that would be appreciated.
And one more thing, if you guys get thirsty or anything, there's chips and water in the back.
So, good evening, everybody. This is Natalia. She's been introduced by Rick. And we want to thank you all for coming out tonight to show your support and become more informed on what's happening in our community. As a convenience to everyone here, she will be doing her speech in English and in Spanish.
Buenas noches a todos, mi nombre es Natalia Melian. Yo quiero agradecerles a todos por venir esta noche a mostrar apoyo y a estar más informados sobre lo que está sucediendo en nuestra comunidad. Para comodidad de todos, como dije anteriormente, vamos a hacer el speech en inglés y en español.
In Portuguese.
I wish. Trust me, if I knew more, I've been talking Chinese. I want to get the word out there.
The reason that we're here tonight is to spread the word to our neighbors about our rights and freedoms that are being taken from us. The county codes are changing without us ever knowing about it, and you won't know it until code enforcement shows up on your doorstep. We would like to share some of the code issues and the things that code enforcement is doing to your neighbors. These code issues range from regulations regarding commercial vehicles, which is Natalia's family's main concern as it affects many of them out here tonight, but it also includes recreational vehicles, fences, sheds, barns, and chicken coops, just to name a few. We would like to take a few minutes to share Natalia's story along with the regulations we know that may impact you, many of you here today.
La razón por la que estamos aquí esta noche es para hacer correr la voz a nuestros vecinos sobre los derechos y libertades que nos están quitando. Los códigos de condado están cambiando sin que nosotros sepamos y no lo sabrán hasta que Code Enforcement aparezca en su puerta. Nos gustaría compartir algunos de los problemas que el cambio de código está causando a nuestros vecinos. Estos problemas de código van desde regulaciones relacionadas con vehículos comerciales, que es mi mayor preocupación en estos momentos, ya que afecta a muchos de nosotros aquí esta noche y es el único income que tenemos. Pero también incluye vehículos recreativos, cercas, gallineros, solo para nombrar algunos. Me gustaría tomarme unos minutos para compartir mi historia junto con las regulaciones que sabemos que pueden afectar a ustedes aquí hoy.
Natalia's husband and father-in-law are both truck drivers currently living here in the Acreage. The main reason they bought out here was to have their semi-truck parked on their property. Before purchasing their property, they spoke to code enforcement and to the realtor to make sure that they could park the truck on the property legally. They both confirmed that they could have 2 semis on their property.
Mi esposo y mi suegro son conductores de camiones que actualmente viven aquí en la propiedad. La razón principal la que compramos aquí fue para tener nuestro camión semi-truck. Estamos estacionados en nuestra propiedad sin problema. Antes de comprar la propiedad, hablamos con Code Enforcement y con la Realtor para asegurarnos que pudiéramos estacionar el camión en la propiedad legalmente. Ambos confirmaron que podíamos tener 2 semirremolques en nuestra propiedad.
Then in 2019, it all started. Someone reported them for their chickens in chicken coops. Code enforcement came out and gave them a citation for the chicken coops because they didn't have a permit. Since code enforcement was on their property, they were able to look around, and that led to another citation for the semi-trucks parked in their yard. They had to tear down the chicken coop and get rid of their chickens, but they're still fighting for their trucks since this is their way of life and their income. They went to multiple meetings with code enforcement, planning and zoning, Indian Trails Improvement District, and the county commissioners trying to get this resolved. Each time, they were told that they were previously allowed to have 2 semi-trucks per property, but the ordinance wording had recently changed, and now they couldn't have any trucks at all. At the conclusion of the last meeting with the Commissioner, Melissa McKinley, it was agreed that they would be allowed 1 commercial vehicle until a final decision could be made to possibly bring back the 2-truck rule. Commissioner McKinley said she would organize a new meeting for them to finalize the decision. Then COVID hit and the meeting never happened. Natalia made several attempts to get another meeting with no response. Then 3 years later, in the afternoon of May 25th, 2022, she received an email saying that there will be a meeting the next day at 9:30 a.m. They didn't even give her 24 hours notice. At that meeting, they told them to get a letter of support from Indian Trails Improvement District, or they could not do anything further to help them. However, Indian Trails Improvement District will not provide this letter because they are currently involved in a lawsuit with Minto and Westlake. Once again, we were disregarded and ignored by our county representatives. This is why she has asked that you are here today to fight for our rights and freedoms so that we can continue the rural way of life we all moved out here for.
Luego, en 2019, todo comenzó. Alguien nos denunció por nuestro gallinero. Code Enforcement nos dijo que una situación por los gallineros porque no teníamos un permiso. Ya que pasaron por los gallineros, pudieron mirar alrededor y eso condujo a otra situación para los camiones que teníamos estacionados en nuestro patio. Tuvimos que derribar el gallinero y deshacernos de nuestras gallinas, pero seguimos luchando por los camiones, ya que es nuestro estilo de vida y el único ingreso que tenemos. Fuimos a varias reuniones con Code Enforcement, Planificación y Zonificación, Indian Trails y los comisionados del condado para tratar de resolver esto. Cada vez nos dijeron que anteriormente se podía tener 12 remolques por propiedad, pero la redacción de la ordenanza había cambiado recientemente y ahora no podíamos tener ninguno. Al concluir nuestra última reunión con la comisionada Melissa McKinley, se acordó que se nos permitiría tener un vehículo hasta que se pudiera tomar una decisión final para posiblemente recuperar las reglas de 2 camiones. La comisionada Melissa McKinley dijo que organizaría una nueva reunión con nosotros para realizar la decisión. Luego llegó el COVID y la reunión nunca sucedió. Incluso después de muchos intentos para obtener otra reunión, no lo logré nunca. Luego de 3 años, en la tarde del 25 de mayo del 2022, recibí un correo electrónico que decía que habría una reunión el día siguiente a las 9:30 a.m. Ni siquiera me avisaron con una anticipación de 24 horas. En esa reunión nos dijeron que conseguiríamos una carta de apoyo de Indian Trail, pero eso no lo vamos a poder hacer, ya que Indian Trail está en estos momentos involucrado en una demanda con Minto y Westlake. Una vez más, los representantes de nuestro condado nos ignoran. Es por eso que pedimos aquí hoy que luchen por nuestros derechos y libertades, para que podamos continuar con la forma de vida rural por la que muchos nos mudamos aquí.
We want to make sure that everyone understands what is at stake here. We're not just talking about semi-trucks. We're talking about dump trucks, dualies, roofing trucks, tile and pool companies that have work trucks, handyman, food trucks, dog groomers, plumbers, AC companies, just to name a few, so everyone's involved. Anything that is over 12,500 pounds, 26 foot long, or 9 foot tall is not in compliance and you cannot have it on your property, not even if it's inside a garage or shop.
Boo!
We agree.
Go away! Why do we move out of here?
If it is below that size and meets all of the requirements, for example, a plumbing company with a van, you can only have one. So even if you comply, you can only have one commercial vehicle on your property. Most small businesses own more than 2 vehicles, and we're talking about dually trucks and vans that are the same size. So if you have a dually for your personal use and a commercial vehicle that meets the requirements, one of them will need to go according to the current code. It makes no sense to apply those ordinances out here. We all have over an acre of land and we want to live a rural life. What will come next? Recreational vehicles, you ask? Yes. Yes, recreational vehicles. Right now, you can only have 3 recreational vehicles on your property. The ordinance used to be 7, and now they've moved it to 3. Out of those 3 recreational vehicles, only one of them can be an RV. You cannot have 2 or 3 RVs on your property. Many of you in this room may have multiple RVs if you got a flyer from us. That's the current ordinance, yet when you call code enforcement, they often say if it's recreational inside your property, there's no limit. But that is not the current ordinance, and if you call back and get someone else, they'll tell you something different. So who do we believe? We all know that at some point in the future, they will tell us that it's always been the rule out here, but they just weren't enforcing it, just like they're doing now with the trucks and the commercial vehicles.
Quiero asegurarme de que todos entiendan lo que está en juego aquí. No estamos hablando solo de semirremolques, estamos hablando de empresas de camiones de volteo, camionetas duales, techadores de tejas y piscinas que también tienen camiones de trabajo, personal de mantenimiento, camiones de comida, peluqueros de perros, plomeros, empresas de aire acondicionado, solo por nombrar algunas, todos estamos involucrados. Todo lo que pese más de 12.500 libras, tenga 26 de pies de largo o más, 9 pies de alto, no cumple con los requisitos y no se puede tener, ni siquiera si está dentro de un garaje. Si está por debajo de eso, por ejemplo, una empresa de plomería con camionetas solo puede tener una. La mayoría de esas pequeñas empresas poseen más de 2 vehículos. Estamos hablando de camiones, furgonetas duales que tienen el mismo tamaño que la mayoría de nuestros automóviles personales. No tiene sentido aplicar estas ordenanzas aquí, donde todos tenemos más de un acre de tierra y queremos vivir una vida rural. ¿Qué vendrá después? ¿Vehículos recreacionales? Se deben de estar preguntando. Pues sí. En este momento solo podemos tener 3 vehículos recreacionales. Antes eran 7. De esos 3 vehículos, solo uno puede ser un RV. No puedes tener 2 ni puedes tener 3. Si alguno de ustedes lo tienen, probablemente por eso les dimos el flyer. Esa es la ordenanza actual. Sin embargo, cuando llaman a la aplicación del código, a menudo dicen que si es recreativo, se puede tener dentro de su propiedad y no hay límite. Pero esa no es la ordenanza actual. Y si llamas a Code Enforcement, te dirá algo diferente cada vez. Entonces, ¿a quién le creemos? Todos sabemos que en algún momento en el futuro nos dirán que siempre han sido las reglas, pero simplemente no las estaban aplicando, que es lo que están haciendo ahora mismo con los vehículos comerciales.
How does this happen? I'm sure you're all asking. Well, they don't ask us what we want. The county commissioners just vote on it, and it's changed. Yet most of these commissioners don't live out here. They live in a city or in an HOA, which I believe Rick mentioned early on when he started the meeting. They changed the wording in the ordinances, and no one gets notified. You don't find out that there's a code change until code enforcement shows up and gives you a citation or makes you tear something down that you already have on your property.
¿Cómo sucedió esto? Muchos se deben de preguntar. Los comisionados del condado simplemente votan y se cambian. Ellos no nos incluyen en sus votos. Sin embargo, la mayoría de esos comisionados no viven aquí. Viven en la ciudad en un HOA. Cambian la redacción de las ordenanzas y no se notifica a nadie. No se entera hasta que aparezca el código en tu puerta y te obligue a derribar algo o a mover alguno de tus camiones.
Natalia and her family are not the only ones that have had these issues, so we would like to take a few minutes to have a few people who have citations or other issues with code enforcement that are going to come up and share their story with you as well.
No soy la única que ha tenido este tipo de problemas, así que me gustaría tomar unos momentos para que cualquier persona que tenga citaciones o otros problemas con la aplicación del código venga y comparta su historia. I know James wanted to speak, so if you want to come up now.
My name is Jason Claire. Your first part of the year.
Excuse me, please pay attention. He's gonna share his story now. Por favor, presten atención.
First part of the year, code enforcement came by and supposedly been a drive-by. They said nobody turned me in. They cited me on 6 different sightings, a tractor trailer, a fence that's been up for 20 years plus, a cement pad that was poured when my house pad was poured, and a trailer and a building. I tore the building down. The stuff I took out of the building I put beside my garage. Well, then they came and wrote me up another citation for outside storage. Pulled teeth to get my fence permit done. Finally got that done. And took care of the cement pad. They found out that was poured when the house pad was poured, so she had to scratch that off. And now I'm fighting for the truck and putting Connex in the yard. There's certain ways they want the Connex strapped down and this, like that Connex is gonna blow away, but you know how that goes. But yeah, it's like pulling teeth with code enforcement, it really is. Thank you.
I'll have Keely now. She has a different story than ours, but I want her to share it because it's affecting most of us out here, not just commercial vehicles, recreational vehicles. We're talking about a 3rd generation farmer that's having issues too, and I'd like her for you guys to hear her story.
Hi everybody, my name is Keely. 3rd generation in agriculture and horticulture in Palm Beach County. My story starts several years ago. For 34 years, my family was in a location in unincorporated Palm Beach County. One day, code enforcement comes and says we can't be there, and we ask where we can go, and they recommend that we go to a spot. We moved there, which moving 34 years worth of stuff was no walk in the park. Then they start coming after us again in our new location. You just have to do this, now you just have to do that. So moving the goalpost continuously, engineers, surveyors, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this goes on for years, but long story short, we had to sell our business because we could no longer afford all of the hoops that Palm Beach County was putting us through. So we sold our business. I now wear my name on my shirt, but somebody else owns it. If I quit working for them, which is who I work for now, I have a 5-year non-compete, so I can't even start my own business in my own industry. So I'm here to tell you that this has real repercussions that can last for years and years, can make your family go broke, and that's why what we're doing here today is so important. And everybody, when you come to these things, you need to bring 5 people with each of you. When we do a rally, you all need to be there. Don't think to yourself, hey, you know, there'll be enough people there. No, there won't. Because right now we have the opportunity of a lifetime. We have a state representative here listening to us. We have new county commissioners, and the stars are aligning for the working people in Palm Beach County. And we need to do this. So, I lost my fight, but I'm dedicated to making changes so this never happens to anybody again. So please, please bring all your friends and keep your eye out for all the things that we're doing. It's very, very important, and it will make Palm Beach County a better place for the next generation.
Yes, I see you have a question for me.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm sure everybody here has the same story with code enforcement. All I want to know is, what do we have to do to rectify this?
We're gonna go for you in a little bit. We're gonna talk about it. We're actually gonna be doing a rally. I think Kelly mentioned that. So we'll give you the information in just a little bit. You want to share your story?
By the way, we need your name and your phone number to come up.
Yes,
We
please.
know who you are. Well, tell us again.
Hi, my name is Antonio Ruggiero. I live on 120th Avenue North. I got a certified letter from code enforcement a few months ago saying that I need a permit for the carport, that I had a contractor built. The contractor said he needed a permit because it was detached from the house. Then I had to build another carport for my boat, and the same thing, now they want a permit. And they say I can park my boats on my driveway. I have to put my 2 boats on the back of the house. I had some lumber piled up and covered with plastic for something that I want to build in the future. Someone is giving me lumber, so I take it and pile it up and to use it afterwards. And they say I can have that there. I gotta move it. I got a bunch of things. They say that I gotta move it. I said, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I took out a permit. I hired an architect, did the blueprints, etc., etc. And I had to hire a survey engineer, and he did the new survey. I submitted everything, and what they do is they tell you that they need another thing. They need something else and something else. But they only tell you one thing at a time. When you submit that, then they come up with something else. Oh, now you need that. And I've been battling this with them. I said, listen, why didn't you tell me? Why don't you give me a list once of 10 things that are wrong so I can work it? You're telling me one thing at a time, and this goes on and on and on and on. Now the permit expired, and now they wanted me to take another permit. It's ridiculous. But you know what? You can fight with those people unless we all get together, like you say.
Yep.
200, 300 people. That's the only way we're gonna get there. Thank you.
I'm gonna have somebody 6 shoes coming with the babies. I don't want to take up her time because she has 2 kids.
No, they're Democrats.
She actually brought her citation letter, her violation.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Maidel Carrasana Mesa y vengo a contarle mi pequeña historia.
Her name is Maideli Carrasada, and she's here to tell you guys her story.
Yo vivía en Pensilvania y me mudé para acá para los Ajaches porque nos dijeron de que aquí se podían tener camiones, ya que en Pensilvania teníamos muchos problemas con el parqueo. Toda la semana nos subían a 50 pesos y la Realtor nos dijo que aquí atrás podíamos tener los camiones.
She moved all the way from Pennsylvania out here because she was told that she could have her trucks here by both code enforcement and realtor, and that's why she moved here.
Pues llegamos aquí, todo bien. Al mes de estar viviendo acá en los Ajaches nos dieron complaint por el camión, unos vecinos. Ahí empezó la pesadilla.
About a month in, when she moved out, her neighbors started complaining, and that's when her nightmare began.
Pues vino la ciudad, que no podíamos tener los camiones en la casa, que teníamos que buscar parqueo. Pues nos pusimos a buscar parqueo y la primera semana de tener los camiones parqueados, a un camión me le robaron una caja ahí, la más importante. Ajá, que cuesta carísima.
They told her that she needed to find parking to put her vehicle in, so she did. And within just a week, she got the computer of the truck stolen. That's about $5,000 for those who don't know.
Del segundo camión, los 2 espejos.
Of the second truck, the 2 mirrors were stolen as well.
Pues nada, nosotros le dijimos que sí, que íbamos a sacar los camiones, ya los sacamos, nos robaron todos los camiones y nos dijeron que no iba a pasar una inspección, que no podíamos tener los camiones en la casa. Todo bien, sacamos los camiones, pero el día que pasaron la inspección fue otro día, no el día que nos dijeron.
So they passed the inspection and then they came out to do another inspection, and she had the trucks out, but she didn't know because they noted they had already done the inspection, so she thought that she was done. And they came out without her knowing and then cited her again, and now she has to go to court for that. Because she had to put them back in the house because they kept stealing parts that are very expensive, and she'll go out of business if she doesn't.
Bueno, me dieron los camiones y ahora tengo corte el día 11 de enero.
And like I said, she's going to court on the 11th of January. Thank you for sharing. We'll do one more story and that's it. So we have time to give information on the rally. Oh. Yeah, sorry, he was first. I'll take you next and then we'll do two more stories.
Mi nombre es Diosdado González Marrero. Vivo en 11448, la 57DH cerca de Royal Palm. Bien. Compré en el 20 esa casa pensando que estaba comprando mi casa, pero no fue así. Compré casa para el vecino y para la ciudad.
I don't know if I should translate that. He purchased his house in 2020, thinking he was buying his house, but ended up buying a house for the neighbor or the county, because now he's having issues.
El caso es que seguidamente que estaba haciendo la actividad para festejar con la familia, algunos vecinos, la compra, el vecino al lado comenzó a gritar cosas ofensivas, inclusive que hablábamos inglés, español, que no hablábamos inglés, bueno, muchísimas cosas de esas. Pero eso no fue ahí solamente, siguió la situación con que hacía bulla y después llegó la ciudad. Primeramente llegó la policía. La paré porque le dije, ¿tienes permiso de entrada aquí? No, no puedes entrar, te quedas ahí. Y ahí conversamos un poco.
So when he moved out, he celebrated homecoming, open house, I don't know how to say it when you move to a house. So he had his family over, and the first thing that he got was the police in his door because they were making too much noise, according to his next door neighbor. And then he started having issues with that same neighbor. He kept calling and calling, and then everything bothered, from noises to his trucks, everything, absolutely everything.
Seguidamente posteriormente llegó un inspector y dejó algún papel de violación por hacer ruido en mi casa, en la parte de afuera. Yo lo llamé, vino la persona, le dije todo lo que había, pero ya pasó de ahí a que tenía un pollero y que tenía un cheto, una casita de desahogo y que estaba fuera de permiso. Pero eso vino en los papeles de la casa, en todos los papeles de la casa, y yo pensé siempre que eso tenía permiso, pero no fue así.
So the first issue that he had when code violation came out is that he had some chicken coops that didn't have permits and a shed that was already there when he purchased the house. So they told him he had to take everything down and he couldn't really get a permit because it was an illegal building.
Bueno, el caso es que después siguió la situación con los carros, con que si tenía carro, con que si soldaba, con que si esto, con que si aquello. El caso es que lo último que pasó fue que me dejaron un papel el día 4 de agosto de que tenía carros inoperables y era lo último que pasó. Y bueno, yo lo tengo ahí, no pienso sacarlo. Lo otro que quiero decir es que si no nos ponemos duros nos van a pasar por arriba a todos.
He said that later code enforcement came again and cited him for unoperable cars, which are cars that he does use and he has them on the back and he's not planning to move them from there. That's basically. Okay, we'll have the next story and then. I don't mean to cut you guys short. I know there's a lot of stories. I'm just trying to cut. No, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to cut time because we want to give you guys the information on the rally, and I want to make sure everybody understands that because we have to get together.
All right, I've been out here since '89. I bought my property in '89, and okay, code enforcement from the get-go. I've been twice. Right now, I'm being fined $150 a day. Okay, there you go for it. Okay, but I'm just saying a lot of the rules and that. The code enforcement, like the legislator, at this point, we need to have them because we are AR, okay? We're not R. So we have to follow the rules that they all give it. Actually, our garbage cans, I got a fine for my garbage cans. That's why I had 17 violations. Too many recreational vehicles, my garage door open, but I told them I was a mud dauber farmer or artist, so my mud daubers couldn't get in. So, but I leave my stuff. But what's happening is we let it go, and that the county commissioner, unless we get the county commissioner and legislature, we used to have rules out here way before that because we're agriculture, okay? AR. We're not R10, we're not R, and that. We are agricultural. So we should have that stuff. Be at the same point, so if you know I have Kirk's Bobcat. I have 5 dump trucks, 4 excavators, 5 Bobcats, and that. I got a lot of shit on my yard, more than any white man should have, okay? But at the same point, these violations, that they keep making up rules and that, okay? Like he was saying about a fence permit. I had a fence permit, but their own codes, we gotta go back on their own codes. Like it used to be, if you pulled a permit and it did not have an inspection, you did not have a fee, okay? Like mine, I got one of them, they said, my fence permit. I CO'd my house in '99, so I had to go get archives. But it says chain link fence. What's that? If you would have came and inspected, you would have known that. So, put the revision, but they're finding me on that. Then, I had horses, a couple of the other wives, so they made me build structures as long as they didn't have water and electric in them. Okay, now they tell me I need to do this. But basically I told them get effed and take me to court. And I asked for a meeting with code enforcement and all that. I don't know if you understand, all your properties to the thing, they built them, they made you put it in the center of your properties. Okay? So like that, when they say put your boat or camper behind your property, but most lots are 200, so you're 63 foot. See, like I went for a variance, I'm on a corner lot. I have 3 acres, but I wanted my lot 50-50. But, I had to go through variances. I don't know if you all know how that, you gotta write everybody, give them, and you jump through like a little cat at Key West, through the little hoops and that. And they turn around and get me off the main road, like Grapeview. I live on Grapeview. They give me the 50 foot here, but they set me back 63. I said, why is that? Because we can't. Okay? So now they're making me go by old rules. I said, you need to grandfather me in. And they just said, well, we're not going to do it. I said, well, you move my house 13 feet and my thing 13 feet, and then we'll talk. If you want me to follow your rules, I'll follow your new rules. But all these rules that are being made up, that's why we need a county commissioner that'll stick up. We had rules out here a long time ago, before that, because they are. Okay, we're not R. So no, it was before that, and they had rules for the acreage because you had the AR and that. Now all of a sudden they're building these things. I went and ordered my cloth napkins. I used 2 forks to eat at breakfast, dinner, and that. So, I'm getting my airs on now. So, yeah, my house is worth a lot of money, but I built it, but at the same point, that ain't my point. Okay, just when I went down there and met with them, I went down to their code enforcement and I says, hey, I would need a can-do book. Lady looks at me and she goes, what do you mean? I say, I need to know what I can do, because you all got telling me what I can't. I said, so then she got mad. She went and got the big old boy in there. So he come out and bowed up, and I said, What can you tell me? And I said, I go, let's go look at the pictures. You know, I got all kinds of pictures. Too many recreational vehicles, too many this and that. And I told him that. I says, it's none of your goddamn business what I own. It isn't. Yeah. It's none of your goddamn business. If I want 30 trucks to drive one a month, as long as they're tagging insured, the cops don't care. There ain't none of your goddamn business. You know? But that's the problem is they got us the same way as, I don't know, Westgate's unincorporated, used to be Bannock Colony, and that, I don't know of that. But all these houses, that's how they have us set up now. But they don't have acreage lots. And they're taxing us. Be honest with you, I got a house down in Big Pine. I pay less taxes on the water. The house is assessed, and I don't even have a homestead on it. My taxes are less down there than they are at my house here. And I've been homesteaded since 99. Okay? I says, Palm Beach County, they treat us like crap. They tax us for everything. Okay? Like I got 4 or 5 boats. Okay? You pay taxes on the boat. You turn around, you get a tag. You get it registered. And then you turn around, if you go to use their boat ramp that you're paying taxes on, you got to pay them another $10 a day to use it. That's why people need to just speak up and come to the point where that's where we need a county commissioner and then put it to the point where you can't keep just gouging us. You know, they're just, you know, no offense, you know, they got us bent over and they're just riding us, you know.
Well, you know, we got new commissioners, so maybe now
but maybe
is the
that's
time
why I'm
to
saying
work.
she
Yeah.
needs to be here and you're the legislature. I mean, a lot of these
We're
things.
going to her. We're going to her on the
You know,
19th.
I'm just saying, I mean, I just told them to get effed. I don't even care, you know, because after 20 years it comes off, but the only thing, if you want to refinance your house, it comes to the point where they put a lien on that point. So, as long as it's homesteaded, they can't take it, so. Go, sir.
Everybody in the back of the room, if we could please get some of you to come all the way to the front and stand, please, because there's a lot of people that are out in the hallway that told me that they can't hear anything that we're saying. And it's important for everybody to know what's going on. Even if you didn't hear the story, we need you to hear the information we're going to provide about upcoming events. So there's room up here in the front corner. You can fit 4 or 5 people standing. There's 2 chairs here. You can come over on this side as well. If you need to, stand up here behind us. But we want everybody to be able to come into the room and hear. Keep coming to the back of the room. We need a few more people to move forward.
Y'all need to come forward and get out of the doorway.
Please come in. Come on in, everybody. Squeeze in. Pretend you're at the dance club. Get close. I do want to clarify for everybody in the room before we continue as well that we do have support from Rick Roth. If you weren't here in the very beginning, he's over here in the common corner. And we also have support of Sarah Baxter, who is our new county commissioner for our area. So we do have support now. This is one of the reasons that we're pushing to get these meetings going, get people informed, and get everybody together. While this next young lady's speaking, if anybody who wasn't here in the very beginning has a violation that you need help with, we have some handouts that I can give you. We usually have a gentleman, and I don't see him today. Is he here? No. He's not here today, but he used to work in code enforcement, and he has helped many people in other areas resolve some of their violation issues. So he did give us a cheat sheet on things to do that will help you temporarily as we work through these things together. But these are things that you can do to kind of get a little bit of time behind you while we fight for these things. So anyone who didn't already get one, if you raise your hand, if you have a violation and you need a sheet to help you, I'll come around and pass them out. So if you raise your hand now. Say in Spanish. About raise their hand if they have the violation.
Please raise your hand if you have a violation. She'll hand some things out.
En español.
Sorry, I always do that in all meetings. Last time same thing happened. Por favor, levanten la mano si tienen alguna violación, que ella va a dar información que les puede ayudar.
Hi everybody, my name's Katie, and I've told my story a lot. I'm not going to tell it tonight, but I'm sure I'll tell it again quickly because I don't want you guys to leave before we get to the most important part. I want you guys to know that, what's happening to all of us is wrong.
Ella va a hacer su historia un poco breve porque quiere que lleguemos al momento más importante, que es la información sobre la protesta que vamos a estar haciendo. Vamos a ver qué dice, se lo traduzco.
When something doesn't feel right, it's not right.
Cuando algo no se siente que es correcto, no es correcto.
There is good government and there is bad government.
Hay gobernadores buenos y hay gobernadores malos.
If you feel like you are being mistreated or bullied or tricked, it's because you are.
Si sientes que te están engañando o están jugando contigo, es porque lo están haciendo.
You are powerful. Your one person carries so much strength it cannot be explained.
Tienes mucho poder, eres una persona, pero tienes tanta fuerza que no se puede explicar.
This will end because of you and because of Representative Rick Roth's listening ears. My family was targeted and attacked 2 years ago.
Todo esto va a terminar con tu ayuda y la ayuda de nuestro representante Rick Roth. Su familia fue atacada hace 2 años.
I am still under attack. Representative Roth is the only person that has listened and acted on our behalf. I can't even look at him because I'll cry. I know.
Sorry guys.
Same thing we all.
I know. Don't make me cry. No. Say it all. You're gonna forget it.
I already did. Su familia fue atacada hace 2 años, como dijo anteriormente, y el único que ha escuchado y le ha prestado atención a lo que ella le está pasando es nuestro representante Rick Roth. Él no solamente ha escuchado, sino también los ha ayudado con lo que está pasando y ha tomado acciones por ellos.
Un aplauso para Rick Roth.
We started as a few people in a small room, and we have grown to become this.
Empezamos solo algunos en un pequeño cuarto y ahora estamos aquí como estamos ahora con bastantes personas y es lo que necesitamos más todavía.
And with your help, this will get even bigger.
Y con tu ayuda seguiremos creciendo.
The next time I come to this meeting or any rally, I want you to bring 2 friends. I don't care if they've been affected by code enforcement yet. The key word is yet. If they haven't, they will. Tell them to come with you. Buy them a Coke.
En la próxima reunión o cuando hagamos la protesta, queremos que traigan por lo menos 2 personas con ustedes. Si pueden traer más, mejor. Porque básicamente, si no los han atacado aún, es la palabra aún, los van a atacar igualmente. So déjenle saber a todas las personas que conozcan.
So I'm going to close this out, and she's going to give you the details of the next steps. But if you take anything from me, it is that there is good government. It is that you are very powerful, and that you are not too busy to come to whatever the heck happens next and buy a couple people some Cokes.
Dice que ya va a concluir su historia, que no hizo la historia completamente por el tiempo que tenemos, porque queremos dejarles saber a todos sobre la protesta. Por favor, traigan a sus amigos, traigan a sus amistades, sus vecinos, a todo el mundo, que juntos podemos hacer la diferencia. I'll have Christian and Rick Roth come up again, if you don't mind, because they helped us organize the rally that we're going to be doing, so they have more information than I do as of right now. So I want you guys to get as much information as possible, but basically what we want is for you guys to bring as many people as possible. We need to raise awareness. We're just 4 people, 5 people, and we started getting flyers out. At the last meeting, we got a couple helpers, we weren't very thankful for. that have helped us get the word out even more, because nobody knows what's going on, and that's what's setting us back. We need to let everybody know what's happening.
I want to summarize what you've heard so far. It's hard to believe that there are hundreds of stories like this, like you've heard tonight. It's intentional abuse. It's nitpicking you for months and causing you to spend $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. It's been going on for years. But we finally had enough, and we're going to work together. It's important for you to understand something. This is intentional. They are trying to run us out of Palm Beach County. If you're agriculture, if you're a nursery grower, landscaper, have a commercial operation on your property, if you're a truck driver, if you have chicken coops, whatever you have, their goal is to harass you. That is, to me, the number one issue. To you, the number one issue is, what are we going to do about it? We're going to do several things about it. We're going to run legislation in Tallahassee to make them have to abide by a one permit piece of paper. You should walk into their code enforcement or building permit. You want to build, I'm building an office in Belgrade next to my packing house. I've been delayed already for 1 year by their nitpicking. So they're going to get a bill that says, you have to tell me as a landowner what I need to do to get a permit. I need to do 5 things, and when I do these 5 things, you have to give me a permit. They're changing the rules and adding more stuff just to bleed you and just to harass you and just to make you move. They're trying to citify, make this a city. They want it to be like Palm Beach Gardens, and we don't want that. I need for you to understand one point. Everybody here that has a violation, we do have Jim Frogner that can help you, but I'm asking you, for me personally, you cannot settle anything right now. I need for you to ask for more time and ask for a moratorium. You need more time, because we're going to get this changed. We're doing this rally on December the 19th to make this a publicly known meeting. We're expecting media to be there. We're hoping even some of the county commissioners can be there. But we've got to get the word out to all of Palm Beach County that code enforcement, it's almost like we're living in another country, and we don't have any rights. And we don't have any rights if we deal with it one at a time. If we stick together and we demand, like the other gentlemen have said, show me the regulations, show me where it says it. So I'm here to tell you, the main thing that I want to do is pass some laws to make it easier for agriculture to exist in this whole state of Florida, so they cannot run you out because you got chickens in your backyard, or you got pigs, or you got nursery. And I want them to pass, I want them to do things to help with the truckers too. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, and I please hope you understand what I'm trying to tell you. I think there's only one, we have a temporary answer and we have a permanent answer. The temporary answer is to get the Palm Beach County Board of Commissioners attention and get them to give us, to either grandfather us in or give us a moratorium, and so we have time to change code enforcement regulations. But I'm here to tell you, that's not going to be a permanent fix. You're still going to have to fight code enforcement. So I truly believe in my heart that the time has come for people to wake up in unincorporated areas and realize that you becoming incorporated might be the only protection you have. Because once you become incorporated, you then have a city commission who writes the ordinances. And when you have a city commission that all lives here in Loxahatchee, then you can have their attention. It's very, very hard, if not impossible, to do what we need to do with the county commission. That's why we got to have a big rally. We got to have a special event. I want to introduce Christian Acosta. He's coming up next. He's already put a lot of work into this. He's been working with me for the last 6 months on code enforcement issues. Him and Keely Haverland and Katie and Matt Reinholz and Jim Frogner. We have a whole group of people that have been working on this continuously, and now we're coming to the point where we need your help. And please, please understand this. It's a natural tendency in your brain to say, it can't be this bad. It's a natural tendency to say, one person can't make a difference. It's a natural tendency to say, I don't know that we can win. All of those are incorrect. If we stick together, we have a state representative, and you know my heart's in this. We have new county commissioners. That is a big plus. We have another opportunity. I need for you to change your thinking. Your thinking needs to be, this is America, and if we stand up and fight, we will win.
Just want to say quickly, this is a wake-up call for those that are against incorporation.
That will definitely come up in the future for sure, and we're going to be supporting it as much as possible. Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian Acosta. I just want to say thank you very much for being here. This is an important issue. I've been working on it, and I just want to point out, I don't actually work for Rick. He's a friend of mine. I'm doing this on my own time. I'm actually a professor. So this is important because people are being abused, and you deserve to be able to live and work on your land, period. And the fact that it can be done out in Loxahatchee and only one commissioner is representing that area means that 6 other commissioners don't have to care. And that's going to stop when you show up in front of them and make them know that there's a problem. All right? Para los que hablan español, yo me llamo Christian Acosta, soy un amigo de Rick Roth, y yo estoy haciendo esto, no es mi trabajo, yo no trabajo por él, yo soy un profesor. Yo lo estoy haciendo porque es importante que entiendan que en esta zona, en este condado, tenemos 7 comisionados y solo una, representa a Loxahatchee, the Acreage y todo este lugar. Entonces hay 6 que a lo mejor no les importa tanto y eso tiene que cambiar. Y lo que tenemos acá en esta sala es poder, porque cuando ellos ven 200 personas afuera de su oficina, van a cambiar su tono. What's going to happen is this. There's a lot of effort that Representative Roth is going to lead up, and he will win. There's also efforts that we need the commission to win. The commission has a lot of authority. The state doesn't control everything they do. Necesitamos presionar en la comisión porque la comisión tiene mucho poder en el condado. Tallahassee no puede decir al comisión, haz esto, no 100%. Ellos tienen autonomía. So we need to convince the commission to change their mind. It just so happens that because of the efforts we've gone through in the last election, we know that there will be 3 commissioners that will support us. So, if you can do the simple math, that means 3 commissioners we know will support us, 4 in the past haven't. That means we only need to change 1 vote. If you don't think 300, 200 people outside their office, holding signs, chanting, making their life uncomfortable, is going to change 1 vote, I will tell you you're wrong, and I will help you convince yourself you're wrong by changing their vote on December 19th. Bueno, ahora voy a olvidar lo que dije. Solo tenemos 3 comisionados que van a votar con nosotros y ya lo sabemos. Solo necesitamos cambiar 1 voto. Hay 4 que han votado en el pasado contra lo que queremos hacer. Cambiamos 1 voto en la comisión y podemos lograr cambio. Entonces, el propósito de esta demostración es que cuando hay 200, 300 personas afuera de su oficina diciendo que lo que están haciendo es injusto, podemos cambiar ese voto. Y eso es lo que tenemos que hacer. When we combine the Representative Roth's pressure, his stature, the newly elected commissioners, and your force, we're going to win. And we're going to win in the short term and the long term. So all that to say, we need you to come to the rally. If you are there, it will be successful. We will take care of everything. Entonces, lo que queremos es que ustedes vengan a esta demostración. Yo sé que va a ser tiempo, va a tomar su tiempo durante el día, yo entiendo, pero es importante porque si cambiamos un voto en la comisión, entonces podemos ganar ahora. Y el representante va a asegurar que vamos a ganar en el futuro, porque él va a estar en Tallahassee y ya tiene la mayoría, va a poder cambiar la ley. Entonces, tenemos que ir a hacer esta demostración. We're going to hand out flyers. Everybody will get one. If you do not have one, please make sure we have your name, email, and phone number. I will call you, or Natalia will give you a flyer and give it to your hand so you have the information. What the flyer will tell you are all of the plans for our demonstration. It's going to be on December 19th, and it will be at 3:30 p.m., which I know is partially during work hours, but it does no good to protest when the commissioners all left their building. Okay? Vamos a dar a todo el mundo un flyer que tiene información sobre la demostración que vamos a hacer. Pero si no te damos uno, si no hay o acabamos lo que sea, por favor, lo más importante es que nos han dado su nombre, su teléfono y su correo electrónico para que podamos mandarte la información. Yo te voy a llamar, hay gente aquí que más o menos, hay gente acá que lo más seguro que recibieron llamada mía o texto mío, o Natalia le va a dar un flyer, vamos a darte la información, pero solo podemos hacerlo si nos das tu contacto, tu información para contactarle. La demostración va a ser el 19 de diciembre, que es un lunes, va a empezar a las 3:30 de la tarde. Yo entiendo que eso es durante las horas de trabajo, pero no hace mucho beneficio hacer demostración afuera de la comisión cuando los comiciados ya han salido por el día, ya han regresado a casa. Eso no los ayuda mucho. Okay, so December 19th, Monday. We're going to meet in the parking lot directly north of the Commission building. There is a map on this flyer. All right, the Commission building is at 301 North Olive Avenue. It's on the flyer. There's a parking lot directly north of it. It should have plenty of space. If there are not spaces, usually it does actually, in the parking lot because you have to pay. If you can't park in there, there are street parking throughout West Palm Beach. That's more difficult. I apologize, but please do not let that stop you. If you are, there's parking on Banyan as well. And if you're able to carpool with people, we'll try and facilitate that, but that would also work. Vamos a empezar en ¿cómo se dice parking lot?
Parqueo.
El parqueo directamente al norte de la comisión. La comisión queda en 301 North Olive Avenue. Hay parqueo directamente al norte. Ahí vamos a reunirnos a las 3:30 de la tarde el 19 de diciembre, que es un lunes. Si no pueden estacionar ahí, hay otro estacionamiento en Banyan y por las calles. Entiendo que es un poco difícil, pero necesitamos que vengan. Es importante. The general plan is we're going to meet in the parking lot at 3:30. That'll give us 20-30 minutes to make sure people are coming together, answer questions, and get our act together. We will walk over to the Commission building as a group. We will hand you signs. We will talk about what chants we want to do, and we will already have megaphones and speakers and all of that ready. So you don't have to do anything other than show up. But we need you to show up. And then around 4 o'clock, we will go to the Commission building outside, and we will go ahead and begin what we're going to do. Vamos a empezar a las 3:30 en el parqueo directamente al norte de la comisión. Vamos a reunirnos allá para que podamos hablar un poco. Vamos a dar carteles y todo para que puedan sostenerlos y vamos a decir, qué van a hacer los cantos, los gritos y todo eso. Y después a las 4 vamos a ir a la comisión juntos. If you get there after 4 or we're not in the parking lot, just go straight to the Commission building. That will be circled on the picture that's on the map. There would be a giant word that says parking lot on the parking lot and a circle on the commission building. It's all outdoors. We will already be there. Si llegas a las 4 o más tarde y no estamos en el parqueo, vamos allá a estar enfrente de la comisión. Puedes caminar y reunirse con nosotros. Está marcado en esta mapa que va a estar en el flyer. ¿We giving it out? Okay.
¿Puede repetir la dirección, por favor?
301 North Olive Avenue. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I know he mentioned that we were going to give out the flyers now, but what we're going to do is we're going to hand it to you guys while you walk out, so it's a little bit easier for us, so we don't walk back and forth in the crowd. Los papeles los vamos a dar cuando estén saliendo para no hacer tanto tráfico de personas, porque es un poquito complicado, está bien compacto el cuarto hoy.
Bueno, solo just a couple things more and then I'm done. I don't want to take too long of your time. One, we would ask you please, do not wear any political messaging of any type. This isn't a political rally. I know it's to influence politicians, but you're not there because of politics. You're there because they're literally attacking your livelihood and your property. All right? And they will look for any excuse. They will look for any excuse to make it not about the primary issue. So any political messaging, honestly, from any side, and they'll talk about that and not about your problem. Do not give the commission an excuse to talk about other issues. Por favor, when I say no political things, I mean no messages that contain a political party message, no messages that contain a candidate's name, nothing that is obviously an issue that's only talked about by one side or another. It can certainly be stuff about, I'm a farmer, I'm a trucker, you can wear any of that. Or your company name, should you choose to do that, but nothing political. Por favor, cuando vengas a ayudarnos, si puedes, no traigas mensajes políticos, camisetas, sombreros, nada político, porque esto no es político. Esto es porque la comisión está atacando nuestra vida y la forma de cómo usamos nuestra propiedad. Y eso no es justo. Entonces, si traes algo político, la prensa va a hablar de eso y no de la causa que tenemos. ¿Ok?
Are they going to know we're coming?
They might find out, because we're going to be giving flyers out, so anybody...
American flag is political today?
So 3:30
No, that's not.
Okay, I want to make sure.
No, we'll be outside. There will be don't worry about the messaging to them. No comment. I won't answer that. The second note is this. Two things. There shouldn't be any issue, but if there is any question from law enforcement or a police officer, do not argue with them. Please ask them to speak to the representative and he will take care of it. There should not be any problem. We're outside on public property, but... Ok, cuando estamos ahí, si algún policía te quiere hablar y te pregunta cosas, por favor no discuten con ellos. Estamos en terreno público, no va a haber problema, pero por si acaso no discuten, dile a la policía que venga a hablar con el representante, él va a arreglar todo. The second thing is there will be press there. We're going to make sure of it. I personally recommend you do not speak to the press. I cannot control you, you do as you see fit, but my recommendation is you do not speak to the press unless we've sort of prepared beforehand. That's just a comment, you do as you see fit. Cuando llegamos, va a haber prensa. No sé cuántos, pero van a haber ahí algunos por lo mínimo, pues eso lo vamos a asegurar. Yo recomiendo que no hablan con la prensa. Si quieren, claro, ustedes pueden hacer cualquier cosa, pero mi recomendación es que no lo hagan. Va a haber un par de personas que vamos a preparar y ellos van a hablar con la prensa, pero yo recomiendo que no lo hagan ustedes. Pero si quieren, claro, no puedo decir nada. The last thing is this. If you would like to do testimonial on the megaphone while we're rallying, please, after the meeting, it doesn't have to be now, it can be later by phone or it can be now afterwards, speak to either Keely or Natalia. All right? We will not be able to have everybody speak. But the general plan is to alternate between a few minutes of a speaker and a few minutes of just general chants, which we will discuss when we're meeting at the parking lot. They're not going to be complicated. They'll be pretty obvious. So we're going to alternate like that. So if you would like to be a testimonial speaker in front of the public, so make sure you want to do it, please speak to Natalia or Keely. Okay? La última cosa es esto. Si te gustaría hablar, por un par de minutos solo, si te gustaría hablar en frente del público en la demostración, por favor, después de esa reunión o después cuando puedes llamar y todo eso, habla con Natalia o con Kim. Vamos a tener no sé cuánto tiempo, pero vamos a alternar entre alguien hablando por un par de minutos y cantos generales y chants y todo eso. Entonces vamos a tener gente que puede hablar un poco, pero tienes que estar preparado, vamos a hablar sobre lo que vas a decir y solo puede ser un par de minutos. Pero si quieres hacerlo, entiende que va a ser público, habla con Natalia o Kim. Bueno, that's it. A lot of work has gone into this. I want you to know that we can and will make a difference, but we need you to show up. I know it's a pain, I know it's your time, but if you give us that time, we will give you a difference. I promise you.
I can't express the gratitude I have for everybody out here tonight. I'm really thankful. It's taken a lot of hours of my life and a lot of time away from my both kids. They're both little, they cry a lot for mommy, and they're currently crying at home for mommy. I just wish, that you guys can spread the word to whoever, I know I've said a couple times, I keep repeating it, because only me talking will not get us anywhere. It's gotten us here, so that's good, but, the more the better. So tell your friends, tell your family, bring out whoever you can to the rally. We'll really appreciate it, and at the end, it's going to help all of us.
I think you can tell that there's been a lot of work put into this, a lot of thought. I'm going to try to be funny. You only get one opportunity to make a good first impression. When you meet somebody for the very first time, you got one shot to prove to them that you're a nice guy. We only get one shot with this. If we do it well, it will lead to many more opportunities. But we have to do this right. Now, part of doing it right is we got to do two things. Christian explained it, but I'm going to go into a little more detail. When it comes to being interviewed, they're going to ask me, and I think they're going to ask Natalia and a few other people. But I want you to understand something. If my good buddy Oscar, wave Oscar, I ran into Oscar at Office Depot the other day. So I got his name in my head now, Oscar. So Oscar's been to 2 meetings already. Here's the point. What the media really wants to talk to is not me. They want to talk to Oscar. So if you think you have something to say and you want to prepare a 1-minute or a 2-minute testimonial and you want to talk to Natalia about maybe you get a chance to speak to the media, we will consider it. I hope you understand. It's more important for them to hear from the people that are being directly affected than it is to hear from me, but we still have to do it together to make sure we get the points. One of the problems we have in media, and you know this, is sometimes they don't like our message. We're standing up for America, and they don't like that. Well, guess what? Move to Canada, Mr. Journalist. Move somewhere else. So my point is, we have to stay on message, and we have to say in 1 or 2 sentences what you're trying to say. You always got to pretend that they're going to give you the mic, and then 10 seconds later, they're going to take it back. So you got to say the first thing first. They're trying to run me off my land. They won't let me do my job. I'm a commercial trucker. Where do people think the food comes from? It's commercial truckers that haul everything. Oh, by the way, we do know there are a few railroads too. We're hearing that in the news right now, right? So there are railroads too. So please, I cannot emphasize enough. Please get with Natalia, spread the word. She's willing to work 24/7?
24/7.
We'll see how that goes.
You can see it. You can see it.
But
I do flyers in the morning.
Christian and I, and oh, by the way, I want you to stand up, Will. I want you to know I just hired a new legislative aide today. This is Will. He doesn't live close by. He's going to be moving to Palm Beach County soon. But I got on my knees and begged the people in the House, because they are the ones that had to hire him, and they said, "Oh, we're going to let him come to work December 7th." And I said, "No, I need him today." He started today. I hope so. So, if anybody else has something they want to say, we do have a few more minutes. I just want you to understand something. This has to be from you. If you don't understand anything else about America, is you have the rights that you hold on to. The ones that you ignore, you lose. And when people tell you you can't do it, you say, "Why can't I do it?" We've got to push back. Please, there are people in this audience that have already sold their property. There's people in this audience that have already given up. I don't want anybody else to give up. Not yet. We need to stick together. We win this fight. All those violations, $100 a day, they will disappear. We got to stick together. Thank you.
My husband's gonna say a few words.
El problema de nosotros empezó en el 2019 y Oscar vino a mi casa y me dijo que estaba teniendo problemas también. Entonces de ahí fuimos para la ciudad y fue donde empezamos todo esto que tenemos ahora.
We found out first because Oscar came by our house telling us the issues that were happening that we didn't know of. And then we told him, "Oh, we already had code enforcement in our house." And that's how it all started, Oscar and us.
De ahí fuimos para allá, empezamos a fajarnos con Code Enforcement. Éramos un grupito como de 5 o 6, yo, Oscar, 2 o 3 que están por allá atrás.
Then we formed a little group. We were about 5, and we started going to all the county meetings, and that's how it started, I guess.
Entonces, en ese momento la comisionada nos dijo que podíamos tener un camión y a todo el que había tenido violación en ese momento se la quitaron.
So we came to the conclusion on a meeting we had in 2019 with Commissioner Melissa McKinley and a few others, I know Indian Trail was present as well, that we could have one truck in the meantime while they made a decision, which I explained in the story before that the decision was never made and they just notified me less than 24 hours in advance.
Natalia estaba recibiendo llamadas días y días de gente que tuvieron que vender su casa. Hubo uno que reparaba transmisiones que vendió su casa y se mudó para Indiantown. Entonces ahí fue cuando le dije a Natalia, vamos a meterle más presión a la ciudad porque van a quitar a todo el mundo y nos vamos a quedar solos aquí.
So we started to decide to put more pressure on the county and the movement that we're doing right now, trying to get everybody aware of what's going on. Because we realized that not everybody knew what was happening when we started talking to new people that had been run out of here. They bought properties out in Indiantown, trying to, flee the violations, because not everybody can afford those violations. You'll go out of business if you can't park this type of vehicles in your property.
Ahí fue cuando empezamos que el único que nos dio el frente y nos dijo vamos a pelear y vamos a ayudar después que nos dijeran que teníamos que vender nuestra casa e irnos. Después que nos dijeran, ya no vengan a más ningún meeting, nos avisaban 24 horas antes, como para que no fuéramos y cerrar el caso y sacarnos a todos aquí. El único que nos ayudó y nos está ayudando y vamos a ganar es el señor Recreational.
After several meetings and being told to leave, they told us sell the properties, the values are high now, take advantage and move somewhere else with your trucks. We found Representative Rickroff. That has been the only one trying to help us and giving us ideas to try to do this type of things, and look at where it has gotten us. So we hope, we continue to grow a bigger group. And that's all. It really hurts us, we don't have anywhere to go. My kids, like I said, they're small. My son just started school. I don't want to change him from school. He has a hard time at school already. So if I change him now, what would happen, It's things that you get accustomed, you think it's gonna be your home for the rest of your life. You don't move to a property just because you want the property. You move to the property because you want to stay there forever and not sell and go somewhere else.
Hace un par de meses atrás, cuando empezamos a promocionar todo esto para unir la comunidad, que es la única forma de que podemos ganar, mucha gente que tienen camiones y viven aquí me han dicho, el día que yo tengo un problema, cojo y vendo la casa. Eso no es lo que nosotros queremos oír. Otra gente me han dicho, no, yo nunca he tenido problemas con la ciudad. No voy a ver. Natalia recibió una llamada de una gente que tiene 6 camiones aquí y gritándole que no le dejara papeles en su casa. Eso no es lo que nosotros queremos oír. Tenemos que fajarnos, tenemos que unirnos todos y 100 gente para allá, 200, 500. Ella es dispatcher y tiene 9 camiones. Ella ha dejado sus camiones parados, perdiendo dinero, días y días repartiendo flyers en todo aquí, toda esta parte de aquí, y no hemos todavía ni terminado la mitad de la gente que tenemos. Y ella nunca ha dicho, yo no lo puedo. Tenemos que unirnos, decirle a tu amigo, convencerlo, como he convencido a varios, traerlos para acá para que tú veas que vamos a ganar.
Sorry, I got a little emotional. He was stating the fact that, I go door to door, property to property. Not everybody likes that. Some people think I'm doing harassment, some get scared, some think I'm code enforcement for some reason, even though my flyer says we're against it. I went to a property, well, I didn't go myself, somebody else did that was helping out give out flyers, but I happen to know this person. She was actually a good friend of mine, and our kids played together. She has a pet grooming company. She has about 6 trucks in her property. She called me screaming for about a 30-minute talk, telling me that she doesn't want anything to do with this, to get off her property, to stop coming, that I'm doing harassment to her when it wasn't even me the one that gave out the flyer. And I said, look, we're just spreading awareness. We're not forcing you to do anything. We're not giving out your address, your information to anybody. It's just happened that that person hit your house. I'm not trying to harass anybody. So it's hard when you see those type of people that have the same thing as us and they're not willing to fight. On the opposite, they're willing to call me and tell me to go F myself. That's what she said.
Ya no voy a decir más porque si empezamos a hablar, vamos a estar 3 días hablando aquí de lo que nos ha pasado. Por favor, no pierdan esta oportunidad.
Sorry, I forgot half of the other things that he said. I went on with my story. So what he was saying is, I'm a dispatcher. I work probably 24/7, like he said, for sure, because they call me at 5 in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning. It doesn't matter. I have trucks all over the country, country, yeah. And I've taken the time at the last county commissioners meeting. They usually do it in the mornings, and I told all my truck drivers, you're gonna stay with no load today, because I gotta attend that meeting. I'll pay you guys out of my pocket because I'm not gonna miss the chance to get the word out there. So if I'm willing to leave my truckers stopped and I'm willing to take time away from my 2 children, like I said, I think we all can, take a little bit of time and help us out and spread the word.
Parar el camión un día, dejar de ir a trabajar un día, no sé, 500, 1000, 2000, 10,000 pesos que puedas hacer. Si te tienes que ir de aquí, te va a costar 5, 10, 200 veces más del día que vas a perder en ir a la protesta, que podamos cambiar esto.
He's saying that just for missing a day of work for the rally that we're going to be doing, even if you lose $1,000, $2,000, depending on what you're gonna haul, do it, because it's gonna save you money on the end, on the dead end road. You know, you're still gonna get kicked out of here, and then what happens? You're gonna go to a yard, like the lady was saying, and then they're gonna be stealing your truck parts that are expensive. So take the time, you know, take the day off, come join us. We need you there.
Lo último que voy a decir para terminar, mi familia peleó en Cuba cuando el cambio de revolución. Nosotros vinimos para aquí por preso político. Entonces ya me votaron de Cuba, estoy aquí, de aquí nadie me va a votar.
He came to this country as a political refugee from Cuba. They already kicked him out of Cuba, and he's saying he's not going to be kicked out of the United States too. I wanted to say something really quick. I know we said it a couple times, but please give us your name and number and email if you want to. But the most important is your name and number so we can contact you and give you information of anything that's going to happen. Por favor, sé que lo he dicho varias veces, dejen su nombre y su número de teléfono para poder contactarnos con ustedes. Es muy importante.
Tell them one more thing. They bring their friends. Their friends don't have to be truckers.
The other thing before anybody leaves. You don't have to be truckers to go to the meeting. You know, we want your friends, your family, your relatives, anybody that you can get out there. The numbers count. Queremos que traigan a sus amigos, familiares, conocidos, vecinos. Todos los que podamos tener van a contar. And please remember to take the flyers on your way out. Recuerden coger los panfletos cuando salgan. Adelante hay agua y papitas. There's water and chips on the side, people.
Gracias por venir.
Thank you for coming. Gracias por venir.